Is silver the investment of a generation? This is the words that Andy Sheckman just used as he described the opportunity at hand with silver. I'm going to play a clip here of Andy Sheckman on Robert Kiyosaki's show here today. Huge shout out to both of them. Got to meet both of them up in Vancouver earlier this year at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. Love both these guys. And Andy Sheckman is one of our affiliates for precious metals. If you're looking to get hooked up on the precious metals, that's down below, linked up. And it's also at my website, zachrector.com. But this is something that I had never heard before. Remember, I'm relatively new to the precious metal space, so I'm still getting caught up to speed. But this is something that I had never heard about, a new utility for silver that I had never even heard of before that Andy Sheckman's going to talk about. And that's in the use of military equipment, and in particular, these Tomahawk missiles, including up to 500 ounces. I mean, hundreds of ounces per missile. And now we have the war popping off. I'm not here to be opportunistic in regards to the war and necessarily profiting off that, but I'm here to profit off of leveling the playing field. So that's how I like to look at gold, silver, and assets like XRP. This is investing in the assets that will level the playing field, not level the battlefield. But in this regard, this is a utility that I hadn't even known about, but Andy Sheckman brought this to my attention here today. I'm going to play this clip, and this is truly incredible. And you're going to listen to Robert Kiyosaki talk about when silver used to be at $50 per ounce. Now here we are buying silver. Andy Sheckman, I think in this show, said that you could get it for about $23.50 per ounce through his platform, Miles Franklin. And so I'm going to play this clip once again, a historical correction for gold and silver that we just went through. But we started to break out, and I'm going to show you guys what happens every time throughout history the Fed pivots and starts to pause the interest rate hikes. What happens to gold? You're going to want to see this, folks. But the main opportunity at hand here that Andy Sheckman is going to describe being silver, gold also playing a role as well. Let's get right on into this clip, though. You guys are going to enjoy this one. Take a listen.
And I'm old enough to remember when I was paying $50 for this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So do you understand when for the last 25 years, I've been saying to people, buy silver, buy silver, buy silver, because silver is used in every electronic vehicle, every solar plant panel. This is disappearing, and this disappears in vaults. So would you mind explaining any of the usage differences between gold and silver? I always say silver is industrial as well as monetary. This is pure monetary.
Yeah, what makes silver so unique is it has several different uses for it. I mean, like you mentioned, in terms of let's start with monetary. It's been money for 5,000 years, and it's really experienced a monetary renaissance over the last 3 years or so as people have awoken to the value found in silver, an asset that is depleting in nature, yet is priced half of its 1980 peak. Okay, I agree with that. Then we have green and digital aspirations where you need silver for solar panels. You need silver for electric vehicles and battery operated vehicles. You need silver for just about anything that conducts electricity, just about anything that is electronic. But one area that a lot of people kind of gloss by and maybe is the greatest demand for silver is military. There's nearly 500 ounces of silver in every Tomahawk cruise missile. And watch the awful news that you see here with what's going on in Israel. And you see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these missiles going up in the air. Any of these sophisticated missiles with guidance systems have copious amounts of silver in them. And so what's different about silver and gold specifically is not only is silver used in industrial and military applications, but when it's done, usually it's to the point where either it's used in such small quantities it doesn't make sense to recycle, or in the case of military applications, it blows up. So all of the silver used in industry, the majority of it is not recycled, it's gone forever. So it's getting more and more and more scarce. And we can see that in the geological numbers that really show silver is decreasing in nature at a rapid pace, so much so that the US government came out just a few weeks ago and said that they believe by 2030 that all of the known mineable supplies will be exhausted. Now, they haven't, to be fair, done much in exploration over the last several years because it's so cheap. Silver's so cheap, it's not affordable to go and explore. But it's also important to note that silver is found in nature, like your skin is epidermis. Silver is found in nature in a form called epithermal, very near the surface. So the big deposits have been found a long time ago. It might be the best investment, most undervalued asset on the planet, or the investment of a generation, as it continues to be depleted and more uses continue to pop up every day.
So there you have it, folks. When I was listening to this while I was driving here today, I was shocked. I had never heard of that before. Up to 500 ounces of silver in each Tomahawk missile. Now, Gaza launched thousands. I think it was the largest missile barrage that they've sent in a very long time. 4,000 or 5,000, I believe. I haven't got the updated statistics on that. And I don't know if those are necessarily Tomahawks, right? These are the really the guided missiles, but that's what we just sent a warship over there. We're potentially going to get to send more over there, hundreds of thousands of troops on the Gaza border. This is going to escalate. And this comes at a time when we already have volatility. We've already started to break out. Once again, I'm not here to be opportunistic on the war. What I'm invested in, the reason why I invested in these assets is because this is what levels the playing field, and this is what the world needs as we transition into a commodities super cycle bull run, just like we did in the 70s, 50 years ago during the last Yom Kippur War, right? What did we talk about? Gold did a 2,200% during the 70s and topped out there at nearly $900 an ounce. When it comes to silver, we've seen the same thing in the past as well. And I'm going to show you a chart here. This one got shared here. Silver Santa on Twitter was the one that shared this and talks about what takes place here with gold when the Fed stops hiking rates. Originally shared here by Fred Hickey. But I guess the original chart, though, is Lawrence McDonald. Okay, just trying to make sure I'm giving credit where credit's due for this chart, right? Lawrence McDonald posted this terrific chart earlier this year. What happens to gold when the Fed stops hiking rates? But the Fed wasn't done. Strong jobs reports lifted odds of one more rate hike this year to 46%, but I doubt it. Daily and Messer dropped pause hints this week due to soaring yields. So he's talking about Fed folks speaking this week and the potential it was expected that we were going to get one more rate hike after we listened to Jerome Powell last month Fed meeting. Now we actually got the Fed minutes here today, and it looks like they're starting to pull back on another interest rate hike. But what has gold done after we've done all of these moves in the past? Well, if I go show you guys this chart here real quick, that's a very small chart. That's not very helpful. I wonder if that one's better. That one's a little bit more zoomed in there for you guys. This is back during the 2000s. And what we did here is after the Fed funds rate, paused, we see gold did a 272% rally. And then later, this was in 2018, 2019, I believe, we did 153%. So that's what we did last time for gold. In the past, we did 170% or 2.7 times. And then we did 272% or 3.7 times, as well as 153%, 2.5x. In the present, that would put gold at 5,049. That would put gold at, why is this? Okay, this would put gold at 5,049, 6,919, and 4,675. So anywhere between 4,600 and 6,900 for gold. Anywhere between $5 and $7 grand essentially for gold per ounce. Sorry, I got that mixed up there. In the present for silver, we're talking 59.4, 81.4, 55. So between 55 and 82 seems fair. And we're listening to Andy Sheckman talk about how with the price of silver being so cheap, nobody's recycling it. Okay, so in the small amounts that it's used in these electronic devices or in the batteries that just go to these wastelands, they're not recycled because the silver is so cheap. And then it gets basically destroyed, not forever, but you're talking about in wasteland of batteries that go on and on. That's where the silver goes to die. And then also, if it's used in these Tomahawk missiles, it's essentially destroyed after that. And so We had a 230 million ounce deficit last year with war breaking out, something, and it's not just the war anniversary coming in 50 years from the Yom Kippur War. When you go back and look at the transition in 1971 of Nixon taking us off the gold standard in the similar situation that we're in now, record debt, record deficits, internal chaos within the United States as long as external chaos as well. They're dumping our treasuries at the fastest pace in decades. They're dropping our dollar for settlement. Nobody respects us anymore. And we see that silver and gold got shaken up over the last week or so. They've already started to break out. Oil as well, moving back up. Once again, this is the beginning of a commodity super cycle. And they've printed so much money, the inflation, they don't even know kind of what they created. And that's why Powell and the Fed can't give you a firm answer, is because they don't know how big they even blew this thing up, right? They just knew that they injected a bunch of stimulus, a bunch of money. The reverse repo market's at all-time high, and they have to keep the reverse repo market at all-time high to keep the whole banking system backstopped. This whole thing's collapsing in real time. The bond market's blowing up, and the commodities are just now beginning their move. And so Andy describes it as the investment of a generation. And I think that you have something similar with the DLT technologies that we see with XRP and maybe a couple others as well. Now, at the time of recording, Bitcoin is back down. We're watching this one closely as we see that Bitcoin did bounce all the way back down to basically 26,550 today. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin all the way back to the lows of this bear market in November of 2022. This is when FTX collapsed. And funny enough, it actually came out in the testimony today. Sam Bankman-Fried's girlfriend admitted that her and Sam manipulated Bitcoin and were trying to keep it sub 20K. And so, as we've been warning about, these exchanges are working against us. The whole FTX money laundering operation going bust, and now all the rats are snitching and telling what really was going on. And as we warned about, right, Bitcoin just so manipulated, and still through Tether, massive Tether manipulation. I think that it was FTX had about 30 billion worth of Tether on their platform, something like that. Really incredible, the manipulation, and now it's all being exposed. And today we're back down below 27,000, back down to 26.5. And as I was talking about, I put out the trading update for my group this weekend, for the Discord group. And I said, guys, I want to short Bitcoin. It's at 28,000. I would love to enter a Bitcoin short right now, but Qcoin found out that I was in the United States, so they kicked me off their exchange. And so currently I'm without an exchange for trading Bitcoin futures, but that prediction came through. Not only did Bitcoin come back down from 28K, we got cleaned out to 26.5. There was plenty of money to scalp on that trade, but nonetheless, my pursuit continues for my next exchange that I can start to trade with. In the meantime, I got my cash on the sidelines, and I'm waiting to buy these dips that we're seeing right now. XRP back down to about 48 cents. Ethereum back down to about 1,500, and Bitcoin back down below 27K. And I think that we have much more to go, much more energy going to be coming in for the rest of this week. Let's watch this closely. But when we're zoomed out on the macro generational wealth opportunities, without a doubt, I think we have something really special here with silver. Gold not having as much industrial use as silver does, but the monetary backing of a new financial system is there. The rest of the world's already moving, and we just saw, actually was reported earlier in the interview, and I'll post the link down below for the interview with Robert Kiyosaki and Andy Sheckman. I highly recommend you guys take a listen to these guys chop it up. Andy was just reporting that the Shanghai premium is now over $112 per ounce. This is one of the highest premiums that we've ever seen for gold, and that's coming out of Shanghai right now, where they're willing to pay $100 more per ounce than we are over here in the West. And so the COMEX paper trading manipulation keeps gold priced down in the West. Meanwhile, at the Shanghai Futures Exchange, they're cleaning out those vaults, and they're paying $112 per ounce premium. And in US dollar respective terms, gold is trading well above 1900. It's back up to about over 2000 per ounce, essentially, after you would pay your spot price is $100 more than US COMEX price. So your spot price is in the 1900s, but then you're going to pay a premium too. So you'd be paying over $2,000 US cash over there in Shanghai. And I just saw another clip of a guy who got caught with gold bars taped to his belly, trying to sneak them into China, I believe, mainland China. And so it's very clear, guys, this thing's starting to break out. Once again, we continue to pray for peace. We want to take care of our families, take care of our future, and not just survive, but thrive during this opportunity. And God willing, we can be part of this reset back to a level playing field. The generational wealth opportunity is there for silver. I think it's there for XRP. And I hope that you guys are doing all of the preparations that we've been talking about for the last 2 years to ride out this recession, ride out this inflation. And on the other side, we have a beautiful opportunity. I appreciate you guys. If you appreciate this content, let's tap it, let's smash it, let's do something with it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Everything can be found at my website, ZachRector.com, including the links to get your precious metals shipped to you from our good friend, Andy Sheckman, Miles Franklin. God bless all of you guys. We'll see you in the next one.